No one say anything frivolous for the next few moments. I am having a significant experience. Whoopee! Look. Miss Julie Newmar has been watching silently over this entire conversation. And look at her vintage Miss Julie. She is the perfect, the ultimate. Oh, try to describe her and not use the word statuesque. Oh, Miss Julie, you are statuesque, and you were the only Catwoman.
The woman who would forever be known as America's feline femme fatale was born Julie Shalane Newmar on August 16, 1933. The first child of Helene and Donald Newmar, Julie grew up in the exclusive neighborhood of Los Feliz, California, where palm trees arched gracefully over the luxurious homes of Hollywood's rich and famous. Julie's father, Donald, was a playful and devoted parent, determined that his children would be examples of both academic and athletic excellence.
He was a civil engineering professor at LA City College and also coached the football team. He lived for it. He loved his teams. He was an avid sportsman, golfing, bowling, skiing, and it rubbed off on Julie.
Julie and her younger brother Peter were natural athletes, but the hours they spent climbing and tumbling with their father were meant to be more than mere fun. They were lessons in physical discipline. But her mother, Helene, a former Ziegfeld Follies beauty, had more genteel goals in mind for her daughter.
She left the Follies after an auto accident. She was kind of artistic sort, very much more of a romantic and imaginative sort than our dad.
Young Julie had inherited her mother's artistic bent, and Helene quickly saw that through her daughter, she could fulfill her own frustrated ambitions. Julie was raised in a rarefied atmosphere of culture and beauty and encouraged to rise above the ordinary. By the age of 5, the precocious child could read music. When she also showed an affinity for dance, her mother immediately enrolled her in ballet school.
She had the idea that Julie would be graceful and skilled. Early on, it was obvious that she had a physical sense and grace.
Her mother gave her all of the social graces and the dancing and the piano lessons. Her mother was sort of grooming her for better things.
Julie was everything her parents had hoped for, an obedient child who thrived under their lavish attentions. At the age of 7, she was at the top of her class in both academics and dance. Her mother was so encouraged by her daughter's talent, she signed her up for a local department store production of Alice in Wonderland. On stage, Julie loved being the center of attention, but at home, she didn't mind sharing the spotlight. In 1942, she and Peter were joined by a third sibling, John, and the 9-year-old happily became both Pied Piper and protector to her little brothers. In September of 1947, Julie entered John Marshall High School, and students watched in awe as the now nearly 6-foot-tall, self-possessed freshman glided through the halls. She literally stood head and shoulders above her classmates, but it was her unconventional personality that set her apart.
Her look and her size and her stature belie what she really is. Julie was a flower child before we knew what flower children were. She was always wispy and ethereal and gentle.
While other teenage girls were going to drive-ins with their beaux, Julie found she had little in common with her peers.
She didn't have not only boyfriends, but she didn't have too many girlfriends. You're going to school and you're doing homework, and then you're going to dance lessons and practicing the piano and all of those kinds of things. You don't have that much time for a huge social life.
Julie's life revolved solely around dance, and she spent her weekends performing as a ballerina with one of LA's local opera companies. With an above-average IQ, the straight-A student also managed to finish high school a year ahead of schedule. Julie felt she was ready to become a professional dancer, but her mother saw an opportunity to broaden her daughter's education. With youngest brother John in tow, they boarded a plane for Europe. Now exposed to old-world museums and architectural wonders, and surrounded by sophisticated adults, the 17-year-old no longer felt out of place, and for the first time delighted in the attention of ardent admirers.
There were calls and callers all the time. One was a matador who presented her with the ears of the bull after the bullfight that we attended. That was a bit of a honor. It opened the imagination to Julie that staying in school or going to college would not have done.
Rather than disappoint her father, in 1951, Julie enrolled in UCLA, but her heart was not in the classroom. Just a few weeks later, she shocked her parents by dropping out of college to join the prestigious Jack Cole Dancers. Her father was convinced she was throwing her life away. Her mother was secretly thrilled. Within months, the teenager made her film debut as a chorus girl in the Bing Crosby-Jane Wyman musical, Just for You. Before long, she was making uncredited appearances in a series of sword and sandal B-movies, such as Slaves of Babylon and Demetrius and the Gladiators, starring Victor Mature and Susan Hayward. But to be a member of the chorus, a dancer had to fit in, and Julie Newmar always stood out. Her height and imposing physical presence immediately set her apart, and she began to originate her own dance combinations. Universal Studios soon hired the 20-year-old as one of their staff choreographers. There, she taught such up-and-coming starlets as Anita Ekberg. Julie appeared not to notice as heads turned when she went speeding past studio guards every morning, tousled hair flying behind her, invariably an hour late. But in 1953, she met novelist Louis L'Amour and decided to slow down. After a passionate romance, 45-year-old L'Amour was desperate to make Julie Newmar his wife, and she was soon seen around town sporting a Cartier engagement ring.
He was just wild about her, though. We'd see each other, you know, here or there, and somehow I would look at the guys I was dating, and they all looked like such little twerps. And Louis was so sophisticated, but then Julie appeared to be so very sophisticated, too.
But it was not Julie's sophistication that won her a role in MGM's newest A-list musical extravaganza. In search of the industry's finest dancers, the studio gave Julie her first big break when they cast her as Dorcas Galen in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. The film starred Howard Keel, Jane Powell, and Ruta Lee as one of the brides held hostage in a mountain cabin.
Which of the boys slept in this bed, do you suppose? Dorcas Galen. What's the matter? Didn't you ever think of that? You're sleeping in one of their beds?
Alice, come away from that window this minute.
I noticed that you peek out often enough when you think no one's looking.
I never.
I saw you.
So did I.
You take that back.
You dare say a thing like that about Martha. And what were you doing last night? Out at the woodpile.
With choreography by Michael Kidd, Julie was sure that 7 Brides for 7 Brothers would be the perfect showcase for her dancing. But finding a partner tall enough or good enough proved impossible.
They matched her up with someone that was equal in height. And the actor that played the brother that took Julie as a bride couldn't dance.
I'd be pleasured if you'd allow me.
Why, thanks.
Oh, he was gorgeous, Jeff Richards, but he wasn't any dancer. He was a baseball player. He knew how to slide into something, but that's all he knew. So Julie didn't really get to dance very much with darling Jeff.
The beautiful dancer was frustrated to be relegated to the background, where her talents went unnoticed. But Julie's eccentric personality always left an impression.
Suddenly, the director yells, "Cut, cut." Julie has reached into her ample bosom during the scene and pulls out a piece of cheese, which she likes to keep at body temperature, and starts to eat the cheese during the scene. And the director says, "What in hell are you doing?" She said, "Well, I felt my energy flagging, and I just needed a little piece of cheese for a pick-me-up." And we all kind of stared, and only beautiful Julie could get away with that.
7 Brides for 7 Brothers was a huge hit. The studio immediately sent Julie and her fellow brides on a lavish publicity tour of the Southwest. On her own, for the first time in her life, the young dancer was intoxicated with a sense of freedom and independence. Taking both her family and her fiancé by surprise, Julie impetuously cashed in her paycheck and headed for New York City.
Instead of staying in Los Angeles and getting married to Louis L'Amour, as was planned, she ran away in the spring of '54 to New York. Big scandal in the family. Perhaps she wanted to actualize her career much more than she could have as a young wife. But she had the courage to jump with both feet into a new career, a new city, a new life.
She was discovering that there was a heck of a lot more to her than a serious dancer, that she had more to offer than that.
Her parents were frantic and begged their daughter to come home. But for Julie Newmar, there was no going back. Her strike for freedom was only the first step toward making her own dreams come true.
This program is brought to you by Nature Valley Granola Bars.
Maria Bergman's Nature Valley. Lost Horse Creek, Bitterroot Range, Montana. Where's yours? 100% natural, whole grains, delicious. Nature Valley Granola Bars, the energy bar nature intended.
All-natural Capri Sun. 2 sizes, 15 great flavors. It's liquid cool.
Can you tell the difference between these pet medications? They're the same brand, but this medication costs a lot less and is delivered right to my door. That's the 1-800-PET-MEDS difference. Great savings, fast service, free shipping. Order now.
Uh-oh, here comes your migraine. Getting in between you and your life, disrupting everything. A total migraine with pain, nausea, sensitivity to light and sound. But why let it take over your life when you could target your total migraine with Imitrex? An Imitrex tablet targets the nerves and blood vessels believed to trigger migraine for effective relief without drowsiness. Imitrex is not right for everyone or every migraine. If you have certain types of heart or blood vessel disease or uncontrolled blood pressure, you shouldn't take Imitrex. Very rarely, certain people, even some without heart disease, have had serious heart-related problems. So talk to your doctor, especially if you have risk factors for heart disease such as smoking, high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or if you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication. Don't let a migraine disrupt your life. Ask your doctor if Imitrex is right for you. Target your total migraine and get back to your life with Imitrex.
Now you can save up to $80 on 8 refills. Click or call now.
Here's a special holiday offer from Microsoft. Get email and internet access on your TV and save. Now you can email, share photos, and browse the internet on your TV. It's easy to do and easy to save 50%.
If you had the MSN TV2 Internet and Media Player from Microsoft.
MSN TV2 is easy to set up and works with your phone line and TV. Send email on your TV, view photos and slideshows with friends and family, explore new hobbies, and see it all big on your TV. Order MSN TV2 and save 50% this holiday season with our $100 mail-in rebate. That's right, save 50%. MSN TV2 is usually $199.95, but now it's half off after the mail-in rebate. Call now or see your nearest retailer to get this special holiday offer. Makes a great gift, too. MSN TV service subscription fee and acceptance of terms required. In some areas, long-distance telephone toll charges may apply. To check local access and get rebate details, visit a retailer or call the number on your screen.
Did you know that the rich history of the Big Apple is just a trolley ride away? Now, the History Channel in New York City are teaming up to bring the city's past to life. Head to Times Square to take a ride on Gray Line's Heritage Tour trolley. Purchase a History Channel New York City pass and visit our Heritage Tourism Center. You can experience hundreds of years of New York City history for yourself when you hop on a ride back in time with New York City, Gray Line, and the History Channel.
Own the Brooke Ellison story, directed by Christopher Reeve on DVD for only $24.95, featuring bonus interviews with the real Brooke and her family. To order, just call 1-800-423-1212 or shop aetv.com.
Fox Reality. All reality, all the time. With exclusive reality reveal behind-the-scenes extras. And every weeknight, Fox Reality unveils Reality Remix, a new daily show at the center of reality television that recaps the moments you missed, previews what's coming, and features so crazy they could only come from reality programming. Get your fix, Reality Remix, every weeknight on Fox Reality, Channel 250.
What are those?
New speakers. I saw them on TV.
Come on. Those tiny things? Honey.
For the ultimate showcase on cutting-edge gear for the home, it's I Want That, Wednesday nights at 8:30 on HGTV.
Those are pretty good! Yeah.
You should see what's on HGTV.
As Superheroes and Villains Week continues,
He never skipped a beat.
fame came faster than a speeding bullet.
Everybody was just terribly jealous of him, threatened by him.
Even tragedy wouldn't slow him down.
He showed such courage that everybody's hearts opened up to him.
Christopher Reeve, tomorrow at 8, only on the Biography Channel.
In 1954, 21-year-old Julie Newmar landed in Manhattan and immediately felt at ease in both New York's sophisticated and bohemian circles. She hit the pavement looking for work as a dancer on Broadway, but she quickly discovered there was no room in the chorus for a dazzling enchantress who stood 6'2" in heels. Realizing that her figure could be her fortune, she began earning extra money as a model for the covers of record albums and dime store publications. Julie's luck suddenly changed. Streamlining her name, Julie Newmar became Julie Newmar, and on February 25, 1955, she made her Broadway debut in the Cole Porter musical, Silk Stockings.
That was just as she left Los Angeles when she ran away from home. The transformation was also a rebirth under a new name. New town, new job, new life, new name.
Newmar's career was beginning to take off. Although she had promised to become Mrs. Louis L'Amour, she decided she wasn't ready for marriage and returned the ring to her stunned fiancé. In 1956, Julie's remarkable height and curves finally worked in her favor and won her the role of Stupefying Jones in the Broadway production of Lil Abner. She had no speaking lines, but the press labeled Julie's number 90 Seconds of Wonder. 2 years later, when Paramount Pictures was bringing the sold-out show to the screen, the producers knew there was only one woman in the world who could step into Julie Newmar's shoes.
Stupefying Jones.
I saw this movie, and Julie Newmar popped out of a rocket ship, dressed in almost nothing, and zapped Jerry Lewis with her hips, and I was like, oh, wow.
What does it do? It's a deadly weapon. Guaranteed to stupefy a human male dead in his tracks. Here, I'll demonstrate. Hey, Itchy McRabbit.
Yeah?
Come on over here. All right, honey. 5, 4, 3, 2, blast off! Stupefied!
The film brought the popular comic strip to life in musical numbers and glorious Technicolor. Lil Abner was an unqualified hit, and reviewers fell all over their vocabularies looking for clever ways to describe Dogpatch's most luscious resident.
All she did was stand there and be bombastic and have people worship her and look at her like she was something from another planet. They couldn't believe it. Of course, she was a Medusa in reverse. She was turning people into stone because she was beautiful.
Well, when you look like Julie Newmar, my God, things do happen. You know, you don't have to kind of do anything but smile and crook your finger, and it'll come your way.
Julie didn't even have to crook her finger to land her first starring role, playing an actress willing to do anything for publicity in the military comedy, The Rookie.
You asked me to marry you, and I said yes. Don't you remember?
I asked you to... You said yes?
I wouldn't have said yes for publicity.
I remember I wanted to ask you.
You did. Oh, if you don't remember, it couldn't have meant very much.
Well, it's just that I...
You don't feel the same way?
Oh, I do. Don't leave everything to me. I'll be right back.
Tommy! I love you.
And I love you. That was beautiful. You really got me. See, I never saw that side before. Except that last I love you. That was a little corny.
Corny? How dare you? I'd like to see Betty Davis do it any better.
Although Julie's jaw-dropping sex appeal couldn't save The Rookie from box office failure, Broadway producers were waiting in the wings with a tailor-made role. They cast the 25-year-old opposite acting legends Charles Boyer and Claudette Colbert in The Marriage Go-Round as a Swedish house guest intent on seducing her married host.
You read Earl Wilson's column, the other columnists of the day, everybody was talking about how in this one scene in Marriage Go-Round, blonde bombshell Julie goes out to take a sunbath and comes back only wearing a towel with nothing underneath. This was big news at the time.
Theater goers watched eagle-eyed, hoping for Newmar to accidentally shed her towel. But Julie managed to keep herself covered, and her performance was so impressive that she went home with that year's Tony Award for Best Supporting Actress. Hollywood was also keeping an eye on the Broadway star, and in 1960, 20th Century Fox put Julie under contract. She was now working alongside such blonde sex symbols as Marilyn Monroe, Sherry North, and Jane Mansfield. Newmar's first assignment was to reprise her role in the film version of The Marriage Go-Round, starring Susan Hayward and James Mason.
Now, I try to be a good hostess. I offered you liquor, cigarettes, the run of the house. I did not offer you the head of the house.
Until I hear from him that he is off limits, I intend to proceed as scheduled.
You do?
Mrs. Davy, for your own sake, I ask you to think carefully. I'm younger, prettier, stronger, bigger, and more intelligent than you. Don't fight it.
But moviegoers knew that Julie would never drop her towel, and in the translation from stage to screen, The Marriage Go-Round lost its sizzle. Disappointed, the actress realized that luck and long legs would only get her so far. Deciding to learn more about her craft, she returned to New York and auditioned for Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio. Newmar was immediately accepted, along with another blonde determined to be taken seriously, Marilyn Monroe.
One of the differences between Julie and Monroe or Mansfield was that she was well-grounded in her religious beliefs. She was well-grounded intellectually. She knew herself with a little bit more confidence, perhaps, than they did.
Live theater continued to offer Julie more diverse roles, and she went on the road playing the lead in such hit musicals as Guys and Dolls and Irma la Douce.
All the
hit shows in the 50s and 60s. They always had a road company, so the road was a big, big business. We'd go to a different city maybe every other week, or sometimes every 2 weeks, and it was highly demanding, but thrilling.
But Julie's efforts to make her stage work lead to more meaningful parts on the screen didn't pay off.
I think she was typecast because producers were intimidated by her. Here is somebody who is smarter than they are, who is taller than they are, certainly prettier than they are, and they didn't know what to do with her.
By 1960, the era of the sex siren was coming to a close, and 20th Century Fox was at a loss as to what to do with Julie Newmar. Over the next several years, the actress was limited to guest spots on popular television shows such as The Beverly Hillbillies and Adventures in Paradise.
Come to the party, chum. It's time you were thinking of Captain Adam Troy.
Right now, I'm only interested in what's happening to those people out there.
Let me spell it out for you. You better get off this island before they kill you.
Switching sides?
I wouldn't mind being partners with you, Adam. Just you and me.
While Newmar prepared for another television appearance in March 1962, she received the news that her 27-year-old brother, Peter, was missing. Julie was inconsolable as rescuers searched for 3 harrowing days, combing the area around Snow Valley.
He skied into a blind canyon during the beginnings of a snowstorm, and he couldn't get out of the canyon. The snowstorm worsened, and he basically died of exposure.
Grief-stricken by the death of her younger brother, Julie now devoted all of her time to her family. At the age of 29, her career seemed to have peaked, but the next decade would offer Julie Newmar opportunities that would catapult her from being a starlet to a star. By 1963, Julie Newmar was not yet a household name, but she was keeping her face and her figure in the public eye.
I'm Mother Nature, and these are my boys.
The 30-year-old had been pursued by more than one Kennedy, a veritable Fortune 500 of financiers, and a number of Hollywood's hottest leading men. But Julie was not yet ready to give up on her career, and neither was 20th Century Fox.
Hey, Chris, guess what time? Not now, honey. I've been doing a dude ranch layout all afternoon, and I'm late. Taffy, mix Perry a drink while Andy helps me change into a girl.
That year, the studio produced the TV pilot 3 on an Island, a thinly veiled reworking of the Marilyn Monroe hit, How to Marry a Millionaire.
Oh, see you next week. Don't forget, it's a date.
Unfortunately, the show was not picked up, and Julie remained anxious to prove that she was more than just a pretty face. She got her chance when she was cast as 4 different women in the road company production of Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, also starring Joel Grey.
Lil Abner and Marriage Go Round were sort of big, dumb, gorgeous girls, whereas the part of Evie in Stop the World took a tremendous amount of intelligence and complicated thinking and characterization that I think she probably wasn't expected to do as well as she did. So I think she surprised a lot of people.
In 1964, she accepted the role of a voluptuous robot named Rhoda opposite Robert Cummings as the Air Force psychiatrist assigned to program her with a personality.
I've just got to get you some clothes. I'm going to make a call right now. This blanket of yours has got to go.
Very well.
No, not now. No, not now. Boy, I've got to be careful what I tell you, don't I?
Tell me anything you like. If it's picked up on my computers, I respond immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
But My Living Doll was taken off the air after only 1 season.
My memory bank has been fed with over 50 million items of information, which I can compute in less than 1 second. This is a recording.
It was on opposite Bonanza, which was the #1 show, and it lasted a full year, mostly on the strength of just watching Julie Newmar. So My Living Doll was by no means a bomb. It was a respectable run for a very silly premise.
Clearly, Julie Newmar was now a television name. In 1966, she joined Adam West, Burt Ward, and an elite list of Hollywood stars clamoring to appear as guest villains on the popular Batman series.
The Catwoman is not like the others. I'll show you how to clip Batman and Robin's wings. I will prevail.
We were looking for a beautiful woman with a sensuous form and yet with a sense of power, and somebody with a believable feline type of movement, and somebody who could act.
But Julie wasn't at all sure that she wanted to return to TV as a cat burglar in high heels.
She called me up and asked me about Batman, and it was I that said, "Oh, Julie, Batman, this is camp."
Robin, you haven't fastened your safety bat belt. Remember, motorist safety.
And camp is just the thing. So that was the kind of enthusiasm that I think helped get her to commit to that role.
Is that so? Tell me more.
When she first came in with that black feline suit painted on her, you know, she was absolutely everything that I envisioned a Catwoman should be on the show. And her body, not that I'm an expert on Julie's body, folks, but it defied physics.
You got some class, baby.
Oh, my God. Ga, ga, ga.
Wow. When I throw that switch, the noise will become excruciating. Shortly following that, your brains will be turned into yuck. And then you can be mine forever, Batman. True, I'll have to sacrifice your intellect. Oh, well. With a build like yours, who cares? After all, one can't have one's cake and eat it, too.
Catwoman was Batman's femme fatale.
Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect.
And Newmar's overt sensuality added a new twist to their relationship.
I'll do everything I can to rehabilitate you.
Marry me.
Everything except that.
She says, "Oh, Batman, we could be so happy together." And Batman says, "What about Robin?"
Robin? Oh, I've got it. We'll kill him.
It was a dichotomy. It was a tug always, you know. Gosh, what do I do? Do I strangle her, put her in jail, get rid of this denizen of Gotham, or do I embrace her and take her to Wayne Manor and have my way with her? It was really kind of strange and silly.
After only 3 episodes, Julie had become primetime TV's reigning sex kitten.
She realized that it was such a strong presence for a woman in the mid-60s on television to play a domineering vixen that she really embraced the notoriety that came with it.
Within months of the series' debut, the show's producers decided to capitalize on the success of their small-screen phenomenon by producing Batman, the feature film. But noticeably absent from the cast was Julie Newmar. Batman's feline nemesis was played instead by Lee Merriweather.
Perfect.
Newmar had declined to slip back into her catsuit. That year, she donned moccasins instead and starred with Gregory Peck and Omar Sharif in the big-budget western McKenna's Gold.
We can promise you this. If you have a taste for high adventure, if you were thrilled by the guns of Navarro, then McKenna's Gold is the film you've been waiting to see.
Despite its high-powered cast, McKenna's Gold slumped at the box office. And although Julie did return for a second season of Batman, she called it quits the next year, leaving Eartha Kitt to play the role.
Julie's motivations are not grounded in fame or fortune. I've seen her turn down a lot of different things because she wasn't in the mood, you know, whether it was a psychic mood or a professional mood or an artistic mood.
In 1969, Julie had weightier issues on her mind. As the United States became more involved in the bloody conflict in Vietnam, the actress became increasingly outraged by the staggering loss of life. Newmar attended rallies and used her celebrity to influence students at local universities.
She became very radical in the late 60s, as we all did. And so she was quite active, quite fierce in the anti-war effort.
Julie also began evaluating what was missing in her own life. Although she had never found the man who could meet her high expectations, she still had dreams of being a mother.
She'd been talking about having a child for a long time. In fact, I remember her saying, "John, I wish I had the courage to have an illegitimate child." What a statement.
In her professional life, the 36-year-old performer had found success by simply accepting what fate had to offer. But in her personal life, it was becoming clear that to get what she wanted, Julie Newmar would have to take control.
McLeod, you are a trip.
This is New York. It's not Dodge City.
Throughout the early 1970s, Julie Newmar continued to accept occasional guest appearances on such television shows as McLeod and The Bionic Woman. At an age when many actresses were being relegated to character roles, 40-year-old Newmar was still being cast as the elusive object of desire. Aware that her youthful appearance and well-toned body were still her stock in trade, Julie continued rigorous dance classes 3 times a week. In 1975, she received a call from John Holt Smith, an attorney she had met at a Los Angeles art exhibition 2 years earlier. The screen siren immediately hit it off with the charismatic 35-year-old.
He's a striking figure, physically confident, with a Texan quality of extroversion and ease and strength.
On August 5th, 1977, Julie and Holt were married.
She's always gone by her feeling, you know, and at that point in her life, I think she felt getting married was right because it was someone she loved and someone she thought she could make her life with.
But Newmar shocked friends and family by abandoning a 25-year career and moving to Fort Worth to be with her husband.
This was more important than her career. I mean, she just loved the idea of being a wife.
Although Julie was making a home in Texas, Holt convinced his wife that her contacts in Los Angeles could bolster his law practice. In 1980, the couple returned to the West Coast, ready to start a family.
She wanted children very badly, and she had 1 miscarriage, I think. And then she became pregnant again and had amniocentesis.
After miscarrying a second time, Julie became pregnant once again. Still in top physical condition, she took every precaution, spending most of her time at home, writing, resting, and meditating. In February 1981, Julie gave birth to a son, John Jewel Smith. Despite her prudence, there were complications. The infant was diagnosed with Down's syndrome. But Julie refused to accept the news as a tragedy.
She, almost without a pause, was ready to be John's mom. There was no problem. She would handle whatever came up in the way of challenges, and that's her strength. That's why people do say John is the great love of her life, period.
Julie's husband, however, had more difficulty adjusting to his son's disability, and the additional stress began to cause problems in their relationship. 6 months later, Holt and Julie separated and eventually divorced.
Personally, I think John's handicap was a big factor. Might have been money problems. She might have been saddled with some of his debts and, you know, whatever it was. But I think John's birth was probably a major factor on his part.
Now a single mother with mounting bills, Julie took almost any part that was offered, including a role in Nudity Required.
Irina Sabachka, head of Soviet Union's Arms Verification Delegation. We are here for the next 3 months to inspect American missiles. We have all arrangements and paid. This is rental lease. If you do not honor it, I will sue your asses off.
By 1983, Julie's life seemed to be back on stable ground, but 2-year-old John's was not. Already suffering from congenital health problems, the toddler came down with meningitis and lost his hearing.
She is adamant that he is capable of living and enjoying a life that has fulfillment and happiness and a lot of things that you wouldn't imagine are possible for a kid who is really handicapped.
Julie wanted to spend her time taking care of John, but her life as a performer often meant weeks on location, away from home. In 1984, Julie saw a solution to her problem when she inherited commercial real estate from her mother. The 50-year-old enrolled at UCLA Night School to learn how to manage the properties and make a living while working from her house.
I remember years and years and years ago, she would have like a panic attack if she even had to go to a bank. You know, she had not really any business acumen. And here she was having to make a living now at this.
Although she had lived in the limelight since the age of 19, Julie Newmar was certain that the most challenging and creative years of her life lay ahead.
What's the name of your book? In Cold Blood.
Capote, without a doubt, is one of the best films of the year.
What is the sentence?
Death. Philip Seymour Hoffman gives a must-see feat of a performance. And Catherine Keener, it's the best thing she's ever done.
His brother and his sister killed themselves. You tell him your mama did the same thing?
If those boys get off, I'm coming to Brooklyn to hunt you down.
Capote, rated R, now playing select cities.
Wheat Thins has 0 grams of trans fat. Well, that makes Wheat Thins worth diving into. Tastes good, feels good. Wheat Thins.
Get the most out of your home entertainment with a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor. It's yours for only $599. Plus, get a free flat panel upgrade. Other Dell desktops start at $399. Get more out of entertainment with Dell. Get more out of now. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
Class of 95. Here I come.
Weekends look even better at 50% off. Rent Friday to Monday, 50% off. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Uh-oh. Here comes your migraine. Getting in between you and your life, disrupting everything. A total migraine with pain, nausea, sensitivity to light and sound. But why let it take over your life when you could target your total migraine with Imitrex? An Imitrex tablet targets the nerves and blood vessels believed to trigger migraine for effective relief without drowsiness. Imitrex is not right for everyone or every migraine. If you have certain types of heart or blood vessel disease or uncontrolled blood pressure, you shouldn't take Imitrex. Very rarely, certain people, even some without heart disease, have had serious heart-related problems. So talk to your doctor, especially if you have risk factors for heart disease such as smoking, high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or if you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication. Don't let a migraine disrupt your life. Ask your doctor if Imitrex is right for you. Target your total migraine and get back to your life with Imitrex.
Now you can save up to $80 on 8 refills. Click or call now.
And now for something completely different. Eric Idle's personal best and Michael Palin's personal best, featuring the first new Monty Python material in decades. To order, call 1-800-423-1212 or shop aetv.com.
My boss was a jerk. His boss was an even bigger jerk. Turns out I was working for a company of jerks. So I started my own consulting firm. Couldn't ask for a better boss.
With Assurant Health, you don't have to be part of a group to get health insurance. We've been covering independent spirits for more than 110 years.
Being a musician means not always getting a steady paycheck. Sometimes you have to fill in the gaps. Health benefits? I don't think so.
Call Assurant Health now at 1-800-854-1322, and we'll work with you to find a plan that suits your lifestyle.
I was a victim of downsizing. Me, the family. But if it hadn't happened, I would never have opened up the store.
If you need health insurance, call Assurant Health at 1-800-854-1322 and see how beautifully our plans can work with yours.
Next on Notorious, husband alleges wife's death a tragic accident.
I didn't believe one word he said.
Insurance policy belies his claim.
There is no doubt that David Davis killed his wife with a premeditated plot to poison her.
The Perfect Murder, the Shannon Moore story. Next, only on the Biography Channel.
By 1989, Batmania was once again sweeping the country. Warner Brothers' updated feature film was a hit. And Julie Newmar was part of the campaign to bring the 1960s series back into the public eye.
Well, what do you have, Catwoman?
Catfish.
Now 60, Julie decided it was time to have a little fun with her career and her pop culture status. For 3 successive years, Julie strutted her stuff on the catwalk with such supermodels as Jerry Hall, Claudia Schiffer, and Linda Evangelista.
She's the Mugler archetype. She's the tall glamazon with the waistline who can go out there and give glamour and sell it.
I like strength and dynamite and the shape of the body. And I must say the bombshell aspect so must amaze me the most, yeah.
When Mugler was set to direct George Michael's new video, Too Funky, he introduced Julie to the MTV generation.
She's a unique human being, and she's a good boy. She's a soldier. She's a really hard worker, and she does the shit, oops, you know, the job.
By 1995, Julie Newmar was firmly back in the public eye, and no one was happier than her legions of fans.
I staged a contingent of the Gay and Lesbian Freedom Day Parade called the Lesbian and Gay Cat Lovers of America, celebrating the love of cats, with Catwoman as our star.
Of course, she's in show business, and she's been around gay people all of her life, and she's been around drag performers all of her life, so that's really not a big deal for her to be idolized.
That same year, Julie received the ultimate accolade when a movie was written about her unique persona. To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar starred John Leguizamo, Wesley Snipes, and Patrick Swayze as drag queens on a road trip from New York to Hollywood. The highlight of the film was a cameo appearance by Julie Newmar herself.
She's the ideal feminine idea, the ideal woman, and that's what these men are aspiring to look like and be.
By the year 2000, Julie's life with her son John was as stable and rewarding as anything she had ever known.
It's a transformative experience for her to have had that child. She's become, since then, notably more centered and calm, not in a rush about things, more focused.
This is the prehistoric garden here, but children love this place. There are all kinds of animals hidden everywhere.
She had created a magical and secure environment for her son.
Julie doesn't have hobbies, she has passions, okay? And the first passion, of course, is John. The second one is gardens and gardening. That's a passion. A hobby, again, connotes something that you dabble in. Julie doesn't dabble in anything.
We do a lot of sit-ups because, right, John? Right, John? You don't want an ice cream belly.
Julie's a very commanding presence in her neighborhood. When she goes for a walk or rides her bicycle, she always has a willowy skirt or a flowery hat, and is very much kind of a cool combination of Mary Poppins and Anne Margaret.
For almost 5 decades, audiences have known her as a captivating bombshell on the stage, screen, television, and catwalk. But it is Julie Newmar's private life and personal triumphs that show her to be one of the true beauties of our time.
You actually believe you are irresistible, don't you?
Do you actually believe I'm not?
Julie is a miracle. She has, at her age, a freshness and an enthusiasm about life. She's completely timeless.
I don't think a career was what Julie was about. I think she was about experiencing life, whether it was dancing, acting, or going out and parachuting from a plane. She would do anything that was interesting, that was being alive.
If I could stand to wear shoes, I'd own Australia.
She's kind of out there, floating a little bit, and yet she's gutty and kind of with it.
To me, Julie is misty lavender, a flowering wild orchid, and the sound of cats purring. Perfect. That's Julie Newmar.
Until we meet again, here's a kiss to build a dream on.
As Superheroes and Villains Week continues,
He never skipped a beat.
fame came faster than a speeding bullet.
And everybody was just terribly jealous of him, threatened by him.
Even tragedy wouldn't slow him down.
He showed such courage that everybody's hearts opened up to him.
Christopher Reeve, tomorrow at 8, only on the Biography Channel.